Hello, and welcome to a live episode of Adamo Baseball. This is actually my first live stream, and I don't expect anyone to be watching right now, but I can now say that I've done one. The whole reason I'm doing this episode specifically live is because I found out today that ESPN released a list of teams, or a list of all the different teams for when they're doing um, their attendance, like how many people are letting in, like percentage capacity, et cetera, et cetera. And there is one no. Like for right now, there's one team that is just a flat no. But yeah, there actually is, there actually is something there. So I'm just gonna do it alphabetical because that's how the list is written out. And first one, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are allowing fans on opening day with approximately 12,000 people in Chase Field, which is 25% capacity. So if you're in Phoenix, I have no idea how hard it is to get tickets, but they are going to let people into the stadium at Chase Field on April 9th, their home opener against the Reds. So team number 2, the Atlanta Braves. Truist Park. I didn't know that they didn't play at Turner Park anymore. They haven't decided yet, once and for all. It's supposed to be probably sometime next week that the Braves are expected to make an announcement as to whether or not they're going to let fans in opening day, or if it's going to be later on, given, ye old virus restrictions. But if they do decide to, it's going to be, or their home opener is April 9th against the Phillies. So if you get to, and you happen to be a Braves or Phillies fan, you got a good rivalry game to start out. Baltimore. This is the one that I'm excited to see. And this is updated because earlier today, they didn't have this information. And I actually want to go to this game. I want to see if I can get tickets to this. The Baltimore Orioles, Camden Yards. Home opener is April 8th versus the Red Sox. They are allowing fans in, and it's got approximately 23,000. So half the stadium can be filled. And Larry Hogan declared Tuesday that large venues such as Orioles Ballpark can operate 50% capacity. That's awesome. Like, I legit want to go to this game. I got these sunglasses at Orioles Park 2 years ago, and I'll actually be able to wear them at the stadium if I can manage to get tickets. I don't know if I can, but I really want to. Next one on the list, the Boston Red Sox. Of course, they played Fenway. They have since 1912. And so their home opener is April 1st against the Orioles. They are allowing fans in, though they're only letting 4,500 in at 12% capacity. And their governor, Charlie Baker, announced on February 25th that, yes, Fenway Park will be allowed to be open that day. It is really hard to get Red Sox tickets, so I wouldn't count on being able to go. But if you can, again, rivalry game, you probably know who's going to win, but it's not kaput. Especially if the Orioles bring John Means out. You never know. Plus, the Red Sox really don't play well on opening day. Next team on the list, of course, the Chicago Cubs. Playing at Wrigley Field on April 1st against the Pirates. Yes, they are letting 8,300, so about a fifth of the stadium capacity. They're letting that many fans in opening day, which is awesome. Again, good luck being able to get tickets, but if you can, take advantage. Guaranteed rate field, Chicago White Sox home. I found that out earlier today. Their home opener is April 8th against the Royals. Again, good rivalry game. The White Sox, I've made it clear, I think that they're going to win that division. The Royals, they got some serious talent during this offseason, so that could be a really fun game to watch. And plus, baseball ain't football. You're not guaranteed to win against a certain team just because you're better than them. You're more apt to just win the season series. So, could go either way. They are letting fans in, 8,100 fans. Again, about 20% capacity. They had to beg the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois to let them do that. Cincinnati Reds, Great American Ballpark. Your odds of getting a ticket here are a lot more possible if you happen to be in the Ohio, Kentucky, Southern Indiana area. April 1st against the Redbirds, good old St. Louis. They're letting 12,700 fans in at 30% capacity. So I think the Reds are going to be better this year, but I understand why people wouldn't necessarily think so. So your odds being able to get a ticket there, a lot more likely. And hey, again, just about with any one of these teams, you get a chance to go. You're not going to have a lot of chances, so you might as well take full advantage. Next one, Cleveland Indians, the northern side of the state. They are letting fans in. Unlike the rest of them, their home opener is on the 5th against the Royals. They're letting 10,500 in for about 30% capacity. So the Indians have had some really good teams recently, so it may be a little harder to get tickets. And, okay, so they're trying to use cashless transactions. I don't think you can really blame them for that. But, yeah, it'll be a little harder to get Indians tickets, though it shouldn't be impossible. Because it's April 5th, you may not get to see Shane Bieber pitch that day, but you might be able to. And to see the reigning Cy Young winner the very next season in a year where I know 2020 was shortened, but he deserved that Cy Young last year, and chance to see him pitch first home opener. Again, it's not kaput, but it's fully possible. Colorado Rockies, Coors Field. This is an oddly specific number. April 1st against the Dodgers. They're letting in, I have to slow down to say this number, 21,363 at 42.6% capacity. What? I have no idea why that is the specific number, but hey, more fans in a ballpark where you're apt to see 12 home runs in a game just because it's Denver. So take full advantage. If you happen to be in the state of Colorado or any one of the surrounding states, because there's not a lot of baseball in that area, at very least at that level. And you'll see Kershaw pitch that day. So actually you might see Walker Buehler. But hey, reigning World Series champs on opening day, you happen to be in Colorado, take advantage. This one, I don't know why they even bothered to let fans in. Comerica Park in Detroit, April 1st versus the Indians. Sounds good on the surface till you find out that they let 1,000 fans in. Good luck getting one of those tickets. While I don't know what the demand is, yeah, so the note that it has here is that there are more fans allowed to see them play in Florida during spring training, 2,000, than will be allowed to play for their home or view for their home opener at 1,000. Now, as the season progresses, that should be more and more, but I don't know. That just seems weird. Okay, this one kind of surprises me a bit. The Houston Astros, Minute Maid Park. So a few days ago, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas allowed the state to open up full capacity, 100% business. Whether you agree or not, that's up to you. But so it just says that it's likely that there are going to be fans allowed for opening day, but they don't actually know yet. This would be one of those that, since the state has released their no mask mandate or any of that madness, you'd think that MLB would step in and just say, okay, this is what we're going to set our standard at if your state does not have one. You know, that way it can be like, all right, we can do 50% capacity since, you know, MLB wide, because Maryland allowed that in Baltimore. So we're not going to contradict a governor in that regard because the Astros haven't decided one way or another. Let's just blanket it, no one above that threshold. That way we know that we can maintain social distancing and have all the masks and whatnot. The Astros have released nothing. I understand that they want to be careful right now, but you'd think that they would have at least something up to this point. Next team, the Kansas City Royals, April 1st versus the Rangers. So I'm a bit critical of the Royals, but they do have fans, and like they do have some fun players to watch. I've always been a huge fan of Benintendi. He plays the game. He's not just a slugger. Solar, actually, he'll put it out of the park in a given day. And yeah, like they've got some names. Bobby Witt Jr. is their non-roster invitee who could make the team and is just a fun player to watch too. So yeah, I mean, they're letting in 10,000 fans. It says approximately, but round it off to 10,000 at 30% capacity there at Kauffman Stadium. If you're in the Kansas, Missouri area along the Missouri River, or even as far away as Omaha, go for it. I mean, there's no reason not to. The LA Angels. So, Angel Stadium of Anaheim. Their home opener is April 1st versus the White Sox. It just says likely that their fans will be allowed, but it has a number of approximately 8,650 at 20% capacity. The total number may seem a little weird, but it's because it's 20% capacity, so that's why it's that number. And California has, okay, so as of opening day, the state of California has a blanket 20% capacity for all baseball stadiums. So that's Angel Stadium, Dodger Stadium, the Oakland Coliseum, AT&T Park in San Francisco, and Petco Park in San Diego, flat 20%. So for the Angels, that's 8,650. Speaking of, the LA Dodgers on April 9th versus the Nationals. Woo! Again, likely. It's approximately 11,200. I think Dodger Stadium has the largest capacity of any stadium in baseball. I could be wrong on that, but I think that they are. So they've got quite a few seats that they can fill. Next one, the Miami Marlins, April 1st versus the Rays, because you have to have an interleague game every single game of the year. It kind of annoys baseball purists. I personally don't care. And frankly, I think it's kind of fun to start with a cross-state rival. They are allowing fans in at 25% capacity, 9,200. So the Marlins have had issues with attendance in the last few years. So if you happen to be in Miami, you probably can get tickets to that game. And again, it's mobile. And apparently they're doing pre-ordered food from the concession stand, so you don't have to go up. I don't know if that means that it'll be delivered to you or if they send you a message saying, hey, come get it, which I'm cool with either option. And actually, that's kind of a cool tidbit. Next one. Okay. The Milwaukee Brewers play at American Family Field. Didn't know that. Their home opener, April 1st versus the Twins. They are allowing fans in. The number that they're allowing is kind of weird, but it's because it's 25% capacity. So the number they're letting in is 10,475 people. It's a smaller market team, so chances are it's going to be harder to get tickets to that game because, like, especially over the last few years, they have had a draw. A couple of years ago, they went to the National League Championship Series in 2018. And last couple of years, they've kind of dropped off a bit, but they've got some exciting players. And it's not like all their talent's left. So they do have a draw. And in a smaller market, it's easier to have a loyal fan base. So it's probably going to be harder to get tickets to that game. Minnesota Twins. Okay, so I have to mention this. For Target Field, it's a maybe. There is a desire, however, the state of Minnesota has not officially approved this, that they want 25% capacity, which is approximately 10,000 fans, but they don't know if they're going to let fans in to Target Field on April 8th to see them play against the Seattle Mariners. They have not decided that. It may or may not happen. The New York Mets, they're letting in 4,200 fans at 10% capacity. Governor Andrew Cuomo, regardless of how you feel about him, announced that he's going to let 10,000 seats be filled, or at least, okay, so he announced February 10th that stadiums seating at least 10,000 fans can open at 10% capacity. Okay, so it's any stadium in the state that has 10,000 or more seats, they can have 10% capacity. So the Mets will be allowed to have 4,200 people approximately opening day at Citi Field, April 8th against the Marlins. I don't know who's going to be pitching that day, but I actually just finished recording my episode on the Mets, and their rotation is pretty stacked. So they should win that game, and it actually should be a pretty fun game, especially with that offense they got, because it's pretty ridiculous. Then moving over to the Yankees, playing at Yankee Stadium 2. For them, it's 5,400 seats, but it's still 10% capacity. They are letting in fans. Opening day, April 1st, against the Blue Jays. So I'm not a Yankees fan, but that would be a fun game, because you got Ryu squaring off against Garrett Cole. And you've got two very exciting offenses producing a lot of runs potentially. So that game's going to be which pitcher's going to give or which bullpen's going to give. So that'd be a real fun opening day to go see. So the Oakland Athletics playing in the Oakland Coliseum. As I mentioned with the Angels and the Dodgers, it's likely at max 20% capacity. So for them, it's 9,400. Oakland has had a lot of problems getting their seats filled. So if you happen to be in the Bay Area, you're probably going to have as many fans there as you want. They usually don't exceed 10 or 12,000 fans. So if you want to get a ticket, it's probably not going to be that hard. Philadelphia Phillies. Theirs is a yes at Citizens Bank Park. They're going to be opening April 1st against the Braves. So each one of them's got a home opener against one another. Them, it's on April 1st. With 20% capacity, with approximately 8,600. So you really can't complain there too much. If you're in the Philly area, you may have some trouble, because Philly fans, whether they're there to love or hate, they're going to show up. Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay, this one's worded a little differently. So it's April 8th. At PNC Park against the Cubs. And theirs is at a max of 7,600. So it's not about the 20% capacity that's attached to it. It's they will not let the numbers go above 7,600. I don't know what attendance is like in Pittsburgh right now, but because there's a max, they'll probably make it a little harder to get tickets there in Pittsburgh if you happen to be in Western Pennsylvania. San Diego Padres, as mentioned earlier, likely with 20% capacity. For them, it's 8,000. And they're hosting the Diamondbacks in Petco Park on April 1st, because the Padres are, or at least I'm projecting the Padres are going to have one exciting season. I don't think that they're going to knock off the Dodgers for the division this season, but I think going into August, they'll make a run for their money. Don't be shocked if they lead the division a couple of times going into August. So, yeah, every chance you get to see the Padres play, take it. This will be a good year to go see the Padres play, especially if you can get tickets to opening day. Okay, so it says here, season ticket holders get precedence. So if you got season tickets, do it. Because if you don't take advantage of that, you're probably not going to get it. San Francisco Giants. I think they're the fifth and final team for me to cover for California. Again, 20% capacity. For them, it's, I thought it was AT&T Park. It's Oracle Park. Approximately 8,250 is the number of people that they're going to let in on April 9th against the Rockies. while the Giants aren't a great team this year, they are on the rebound, and the Rockies are not a good team this year. So you may see the Giants win their opening day or their home opener this year. There's no reason not to give that one a shot if you happen to be in the Bay Area. And it's not the same day as the Athletics opening day. So go for it. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, no information. It's been requested up to health officials in King County, Seattle, or in Washington. They haven't released anything. So we don't actually know about the Seattle Mariners just quite yet. We'll find out when we find out. St. Louis Cardinals, again, this is kind of an odd number. Well, I mean odd as in strange. In Busch Stadium on April 8th versus the Brewers, good classic rivalry game, approximately 14,600. On its own is not weird, except that it's 32% capacity. Considering the Royals didn't have a weird number like that, it's not a Missouri thing. Okay. That's just how the math fell for Busch Stadium. So they can do pod seating. It's like groups of 4 or fewer fans. So they were able to calculate that 32% capacity was the best that they could do. It's weird, but apparently the math works for that. So all I got to say is cool. Tampa Bay Rays, Tropicana Field. Their home opener is April 9th against the Yankees. This one just says likely. So it's not kaput. It's likely. Probably 7,000 fans for 16% capacity. So the Rays officially said they hope to host as many as 7,000. So it looks like that's mostly what they're just hoping for rather than what they actually expect. And looking at the ticket prices here, if you're not a season ticket holder, you're probably not going to want to pay this. It's 6 different levels between $500 and $2,000 or $20,000 for seats. If I pay $20,000 for a ticket, my Packers better win the Super Bowl, or I better be sitting behind home plate in Game 7 of the World Series. Wow. Okay, so as mentioned earlier with Houston, it's the same thing for the Texas Rangers. So they haven't decided anything. In the notes they have that, okay, so this is what it was. Global Life Field hosted they hosted the National League Championship Series, I think, and the World Series last year. So, like, they hosted the National League side so that it wouldn't be one of those home team has an unfair advantage type scenarios. And last October, they had 11,000 fans, approximately at 30% capacity at the time. So it's believed that they should be able to do that around opening day, which will be April 5th versus the Jays. But they have released nothing officially, so there's no kaput in that regard. This is an interesting one. The Toronto Blue Jays. So last year, they couldn't even play in Canada because COVID restrictions for international travel with Canada was a flat, you do not come in and out of Canada. And they explicitly said, Toronto Blue Jays, no, you cannot play at the Rogers Center in Toronto and be able to go play somewhere else, because they had a mandatory nationwide international travel 2-week quarantine. It didn't matter where you're coming from. If you cross that border, any international border for Canada, that includes over oceans, not just coming into America, it was 2 weeks flat. And for baseball, that's just not possible. So last year they played in Buffalo. This year, at least starting off, they hope to be able to return to Canada sometime this summer, July if they can. But obviously a lot of things have to happen. That's entirely outside of the realm of baseball. So all we can do is hope for the best. Until then, they're going to be playing in Dunedin, Florida. I think I said the name of that town right. At TD Ballpark, which is one of the spring training sites. I think that's their spring training site. And they will be hosting their home opener April 8th versus the Angels. They will be letting fans in. 1,275 people at 15% capacity. The purpose for that is because they have a spring training facility, and the reason why the number is so low is because that's what's available. So spring training sites are notoriously small ballparks because you don't really expect to have thousands of fans. Mostly it's just loyal ones or people who just happen to live in Florida or Arizona. So that number is going to be a lot lower anyway. But hopefully, I want to say realistically, but it's more hopefully the All-Star break will be the time for Toronto. And finally, the Washington Nationals. They host the Mets April 1st at Nationals Park. They're not letting fans in. The District of Columbia Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency, they approved their ballpark to be open this year, but they did not approve fans to be attending opening day as of right now. And because of the limited time frame that they have to make that change, it's not necessarily guaranteed that they'll be able to. Can they? Yes. Anything can happen on any given day. However, DC is one of those areas where they're being very, very careful, and because of political unrest that's been transpiring in the area over the last 6 months-ish. You can go back as far as you want. They're being safe by not having fans attend the stands just quite yet, at least not until the District of Columbia itself deems it safe for fans to return to the stadium. I'm not just blaming it on the political unrest. I'm not blaming it on ye old virus, but as of right now, the Nats will play games there, but they will not host fans. As of right now, they are the one team in baseball where as of right now, it's just a flat no. Everyone else is at least a maybe, if not a likely or a definitive yes. So I think I did a pretty decent job of covering that. I wasn't hoping for it to last 34 minutes in explanation, but I see that I've got a viewer. I want to thank you for viewing this live stream. And if you'd like to say something in the chat, thank you. If not, I understand. But I think that I've covered all 30 teams, and that's what there is thus far. And thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to my voice and watching my face do this whilst I was scrolling through and trying not to plagiarize in any way. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Cheers until next time.